All right. Hello. Welcome, welcome. Today, I really want to welcome Sarah Mary. And I just told her before we started recording how I love her last name. It's like, hey, Sarah, Merry Christmas. Welcome, Sarah, to the show. And thanks for putting your hand up without knowing what you were getting yourself into. And I haven't given you any script of questions. I haven't briefed you anything on what I'm going to ask, how I'm going to do this. It's just very spontaneous play, and we're just going to keep driving in the direction that you tell us to. So, how about you tell the people that are listening and watching you a bit about yourself and what you do?
Myself and what I do as work.
Yeah, as work, at home, whatever. Like, tell us everything.
It blends a little bit anyway, I suppose.
Yeah. Okay.
My passion is languages, and I'm a writer and a teacher and an entrepreneur. Wow. So at the moment, from Tuesdays to Fridays during the school term, I teach Indonesian at a primary school.
Okay.
And on Mondays, I work on my business. Okay. So I have 2 staff that work for me at Confidence and Clarity Tutoring, and our focus is learning to learn in a way that serves you on a mind, body, heart, and soul level.
Okay.
And we have 3 core values: passion, confidence, and clarity, and that's also a core focus of ours.
Okay, so when you're saying you work as a writer, teacher, and entrepreneur, you teach Indonesian. Is that where you come from?
Yeah.
Oh, beautiful! Wow. Okay.
No. I actually didn't even want to learn Indonesian. I wanted to learn French when I was in high school, and then I was doing the International Baccalaureate Diploma, and it's required as part of that course that you learn a language.
Okay.
But the French class wasn't big enough. So we all had to go into ab initio Indonesian, and at that time I didn't know where Indonesia was. I'd never heard Indonesian before. And I was really mad because I was really passionate about French.
Okay. Of course.
But now I'm better.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
What was that?
Nothing. Go ahead. Of course,
okay.
Anyone would be mad.
Yeah. And yeah, I forgot what I was going to say.
You were mad because you were all forced to study Indonesian.
Yes. And then but then I got better at Indonesian than I was at French. So now I am focusing on Indonesian, and I know I'll go back to French eventually because I do love the sound of it. I love the sound of Italian as well, and I love languages in general. So I'm sure that more language will come, but for now I get to focus on Indonesian.
Very beautiful. Yeah. All right. So you said you're also an entrepreneur. What do you do as an entrepreneur?
So I run Confidence and Clarity Tutoring, and also through my writers page, I run some language programs. So I do tutor English as a second language and word wizardry. So advanced English for native speakers as well. And what have I got running at the moment? Anger to Abundance. I've got running my main message for writing, because writing has always been my safe space to feel my emotions.
Yeah.
And because by sharing my writing, I've noticed that it allows other people to connect in with their emotions as well. Yeah. The hashtag that I use in the message for my writers page is "Let's feel everything again."
Wow.
And Anger to Abundance. Anger to Abundance is a course that creates a safe space for people to feel their anger, because anger was a particular emotion that I was not comfortable with feeling.
Yeah, okay.
But last year a lot of my anger got brought up for me so that I could flip it and transform it and turn it into something that was actually going to serve and support me. And I learned a lot of tools that I can share. So that's what that course is about.
Yeah, beautiful. All right. Okay. So tell me, Sarah, where did this all begin? Like, do you remember, where did this begin? And, in the process of like reflecting on your past life all this while, can you think of your deepest, darkest, lowest moment and how you sprung back from there?
When I was in year 11, which was 2011, my school year levels matched up with the years.
Okay. Yeah.
When I was in year 11, I was diagnosed eventually with depression. And it came from a whole lot of realizations about my family. It came from a whole lot of friendship issues, and it came from changing schools. Then my grandmother was in hospital. Then all sorts of things just rolled into each other to a point where I couldn't
take it anymore.
I couldn't cope with it. Yeah, I couldn't process all of that at once. And when I look back on it, it's a little bit funny because when I was in year 9, I remember being in my bedroom, and love is really important to me. So I was praying to find the person I was supposed to be with as soon as possible. And I remember saying rather boldly, but I didn't know how bold it was at the time, that if there were any lessons I needed to learn before them, then give them to me now. I'm ready.
Wow.
I got a lot of lessons. Very, I think, pretty much chunked in together as much as possible.
Yeah, you asked for all of it, right?
Yeah, for the next 7 years, it was like...
Right. Yeah, but I think, the cool interpretation that I'm getting out of this is you need to learn your lessons before you need to learn your lessons before reaping the rewards, if I may say.
Yeah.
And I think it's pretty cool for someone at your age, then to have this awareness that, look, I know I've got to go through some lessons before I find my perfect man. So just give them to me, Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, all right, I know you might not be able to give them to me straight away, but look, if you've got some lessons, let's have them.
But it's amazing. I'm so impressed. I'm really thinking about the thinking behind, what went behind in your brain, like what your brain was processing. You're thinking 2 steps ahead. You're like, I know, yeah, I've got to do the hard work before I get it. Yeah, really cool. Right. Wow. Okay. So that was, that was actually, when you were when you're diagnosed with depression was your deepest, darkest moments.
Yeah.
So, if, for someone who's not maybe, not everyone has to be, diagnosed with depression, but there can be daily moments of lows which can build up to something more significant like depression. So what can you give us 3 tools which can help us in our daily living? Or
So I feel like depression for me was actually quite a gift, and I feel like it was just a bunch of lessons thrown together that I couldn't cope with at the time. So I needed space to process it. It feels like a spiritual awakening at the same time.
Yeah.
It's just that
There was
you know,
too many presents and too much wrapping paper and too much.
yeah. And I don't know if I want this present, and I'm not ready to receive this one. And
Yep.
it took time to unwrap and unravel and
Totally.
everything. So, oh wow, these three tools are things that I probably still need for myself, obviously.
Yeah.
Number one,
Yeah.
it's gonna be gratitude, but it's not the kind of gratitude where you're having a low and somebody's saying to you, but you've got so many things to be grateful for, blah 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 blah. If you feel like shit, that's okay.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
And if you can't feel grateful, awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's fine. Like,
experience all emotions in the spectrum, right? Otherwise.
yeah. And sometimes the reason that we can't feel grateful, or the reason for me that I haven't been able to feel grateful sometimes, is because, number one, I have something that I'm angry about or feeling another emotion about that I have to deal with, and it's being brought into my awareness. Or gratitude feels overwhelming and I'm not ready to receive it.
Yeah.
So that probably rolls into the second one, which is work on your openness to receiving.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah.
Which rolls into the third one, which is work on your boundaries. Because I remember when I was like, okay, I have to be open to receiving. I've got to receive, because, you know, giving and receiving are a cycle.
Yep.
And you can't pour water from an empty cup.
Totally.
So if you're blocking receiving at a certain level, you can't give past that level.
Yep.
Because you don't have it. You don't have anything to give. If you've blocked the cycle, you're stuck there.
Yep.
You give, receive at the same level, can't up level.
Yep.
But in order for me to feel safe, to be more open to receiving, I had to learn about boundaries. And what boundaries are, in simple terms, are what is okay with me and what isn't okay with me.
Yeah.
And being okay with acknowledging to yourself what is okay and what isn't okay, and telling other people.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, I just love it. And you know what's the next thought that's coming to me is, see, because we are all in business, and most likely, you know, the people who are going to be accessing this content are going to be business owners or, you know, entrepreneurs who are struggling with this thing called receiving. They're not able to up their rates. They're not able to charge their worth. So, you know, how much this plays in business. I remember, like, I have done a lot of conscious work on being able to receive. So the moment a friend of mine did a gesture for me, I was extremely grateful for them, and I told them 1,000 times for that one gesture. But then I also thought it is my duty to repay that back to them. And that's not what they were expecting.
And that's not, that's not receiving. That's like, thanks for the gift. Here it is back in a different form.
It's a contract, right? But that's not what friendship and love and relationships are. So
because they're giving of themselves, and in order for you to give, you've got to give of yourself, not of their selves kind of transformed with your
I love
kind
this
of
distinction. Yes, I really like this distinction. So I don't have to, you know, I used to take the extra effort to identify how and where I can give to them. And that messed up the whole rapport, right?
Yeah, it does, because it interrupts the cycle. It's like you're taking the present, but then you're like, okay, now let me just change it. Let me just change it and give it back to you. What an insult.
I know. Yeah, you just, in fact, you know, metaphorically, we can also say we're just kind of repackaging the same gift in a different wrapping paper and, you know, sending it back to them. Like, how bad is that?
Yeah. And it's kind of like, it's a little bit like like I can imagine receiving that gift back from somebody repackaged. I'd feel like, oh, they didn't want it. And also, they think my gift wasn't good. They've changed my gift and given it back to me.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, amazing, right? I mean, I just love bringing in metaphors and how they, how they help us understand the whole thing in, in a lighter, what can I say, in a lighter mood, yeah.
Cool. Yeah, because it can get heavy when it's
when we are attaching emotions and all.
Everybody's hurt and pain.
Yeah, right. So I've been taking notes as you were talking, and you said, the 3 tools are gratitude, and like gratitude when you genuinely feel gratitude, not imposed gratitude. Yes. Yeah. That's yeah.
Yeah, and the reason receiving came straight after gratitude was because when we're receiving at a new level, sometimes for me, I've noticed that that's when my gratitude gets blocked, because I'm afraid to feel that new level, or I'm afraid to receive at that new level.
Yeah.
And if I begin to feel grateful for it, it's kind of when we feel the need to do gratitude, to like thank somebody over and over again and then give them something else, that's not receiving. To feel genuine gratitude is to fully receive something.
Yeah.
So that's why receiving came straight after.
Yeah, and I also love what you just brought in, because when you're saying you're afraid to receive or acknowledge the next level of receiving, it's our fear, and unconsciously we know that we deserve it, and we've the universe has gifted it to us with love, but our conscious mind keeps coming in the way and challenging it logically, like, really, Shilpa?
Yeah.
Do you deserve this?
Yeah.
Is it gonna?
Yeah, it's a worthiness threshold.
Yeah. Wow, this is going really deep and really very powerful message, I think, for the listeners, right? And then when you're saying work on your boundaries, I want to elicit from you, like let's just give it a spontaneous shot on how can business owners work on expanding their boundaries. Because every other day I hear from business owners that as I said earlier, they can't charge their worth. Deep inside they know they're worthy of more, but they can't up their rates, or they can't even receive. They think it's their duty to give services or taster sessions for free. Mm-hmm. So if we could in this session devise a strategy to take our boundaries to the next level.
Yeah. So I would start with simply what's okay with me and what's not.
Okay. Yeah.
In this, if it was for your prices, what prices are okay, what's not. If, for example, I just raised my my hourly rate to $100.
Wow.
And it was because my previous rate was 80, and that had become not okay with me.
Yeah.
But sometimes we know that our business needs us to raise our prices, but it's not okay with us to raise our prices. And I went through that as well. It was no longer okay for me to stay at 80, but it was also not okay for me to go to 100.
Yeah, I can imagine.
So I was kind of stuck two not okays. One that I knew was really not okay, and one that I knew was a worthiness threshold.
Yeah.
So when you can tell which one's about receiving and which one's about your worthiness threshold, you choose that one and you start to find out. You can do it in a very logical way, and you can start asking why and deconstructing it, or you can feel into it. How can I make this feel better?
Yeah.
And I think that's the easiest way. How can this feel better right now? How can this feel better today? How can this feel better tomorrow?
Yeah, I like that. So, you know, what would be a typical response? Like if I'm just trying to, because I'm so AD sometimes, and I think when we're doing things like this, you know, especially when it comes to things, anything money, we think a lot than we must. Like, you know, connecting to feelings is tough.
Mm.
Uh, so what could be a response? How can I make this feel
It's 1
better?
o'clock.
How can I make this feel better?
That's a really good question for me right now. Because
Yeah.
even though I've raised my prices, there's still part of me that it's not okay with.
Yeah, the tug of war is still there.
Okay. A way for it to feel better for me is to start having clients paying that rate and start running sessions at that rate.
Right.
That makes me to feel more comfortable. Another question is along with how can I feel better about this?
Yep.
What just came to me? How can I help myself feel more comfortable and more supported?
Yeah. Yeah.
Where can I get support from?
Yep.
Do I need it from inside myself? Do I need it from my partner? Do I need it from my friends? Do I need it from my clients?
Yeah. Yeah. And most likely, I think, you know, the answer is within us. So we really don't need any external validation or support for that matter. We've got everything inside us, and it's up to us to bring out that inner resource and value.
How can I access that as well?
Yeah, and you know, like value that resource that we've just brought out at $100. You know, like yeah. And also, you know, a couple of things that just spontaneously came to my mind, which I've learned from my mentor, is when you're upping your price, when you know that 80 is no more good enough, I need to charge 100 because I'm giving that much value more to my clients. You know, stand in front of the mirror and tell yourself, like, you know, if you want to up your price beyond 80, start at, you know, like 85. And then talk to yourself until it feels slightly uncomfortable. So it could be like, hi, I'm Sarah. I charge $95. No, sorry. I charge $85 an hour. You know, hi, I'm Sarah. I charge $90 an hour. Hi, I'm Sarah. I charge $95 an hour. And then, you know, it'll feel all right all this while. And then 100, you will feel there's a tension. And that's the right price. Yeah.
Yeah, I really like that strategy. That's a really nice one. And I like until you feel a little bit uncomfortable. That's your next up level. Yeah. Because I tend to push myself straight out of my comfort zone, and I don't allow myself that patience and that space to expand my comfort zone.
Yeah.
I spend all this time feeling unsafe outside of my comfort zone, and I never bring my comfort zone back out.
It's a good strategy because, you know, you're playing it because it works for you. Like, you need adventure. You are totally an adventurist, right? Yes. I can sense that. But yes, for those who need to go slowly, y'all can, you know, just practice with, you know, whatever numbers you're playing with, you know, start with upping it by $25 if that's the range you want to up, or every $5, whatever. So
and saying it out loud and saying it to more and more people as well helps you transition.
Yep.
Even if it's not happening yet, if it's a price rise that you're planning, the prices are rising on blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Even if you don't know how much by yet. Even if you haven't decided what the price rise is going to be. I know that we're having a price rise on the 1st of January.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, just putting it out there, and you know, this helps you stay accountable because you've told everyone, which means you have to up your.
Now you have to own it. and they know.
Yeah. And I think it works as a better
So you don't
strategy.
have that.
Yeah.
What was that?
So, that's a really cool strategy because you're forced by the external world to up your prices, which
Yeah, and you don't have that excuse anymore of, oh, what is everybody going to think, blah, 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 because everybody else already knows. You've already seen their reaction.
Yep. Yeah. And then, this also
Only you
positions
now.
you. Yeah, and it positions you as an authority because then it creates a sense of urgency in those clients who are still sitting on the fence and they know they want to work with you, but they are like, no, I'm afraid. I don't know if I can do this. But then they're like, oh my God, this is the last chance where I can lock in Sarah's $80 rate, and so yeah, because she's growing and I want to grow, so I better grow with her. And yeah, great positioning.
What I did as well was I created an early bird offer for them, so they could, so my clients could book for term 1 this year at last year's rates.
Oh, okay.
Which allowed me to have all of this time, like bookings, and I could plan around those bookings that I had, and I'd never been able to do that before because our bookings would be within 2 weeks of the next term or during the term.
Yeah.
And now we'd have bookings 2 months prior because of this. So I'm thinking that I'm going to continue with that early bird offer every term so that we have more of an idea of who's going to be with us the following term.
Yeah, I mean, then it doesn't leave you with the most common struggle that entrepreneurs have, which is, where is my next client coming from? I mean,
yeah, it adds safety and security.
Yeah, it's like, it's creating constant, steady cash flow into your business.
Yeah.
Wow,
it gets you out of survival mode.
Yeah. Cool. So these are some.
And that benefits everyone. That benefits your staff. It benefits your clients.
Yep. Totally. Cool. Right. All right. So I'm thinking, Sarah, we've had a really great chat. And just to wrap this up, is there a life mantra that you can think of that has brought you out of the pit every time?
Not as such. I love words, so there's always words, but they're not the same all the time.
Yeah.
Sometimes I open up an old notebook and I find some words of wisdom from myself, and that's always fun.
Yep.
It's more of a tool, just recentering, coming back to myself.
What's that? Sorry.
Coming back to recentering.
Yep.
Recentering, coming back to myself. Oh, actually, I do have one. Follow your bliss. That's Joseph Campbell. Follow your bliss.
Follow your bliss, right?
Yeah. Recenter, come back to yourself, and follow your bliss.
Wow.
Follow your bliss is his. There's a whole quote that's longer than that.
Yeah.
That explains it even more. But in 3 simple words, it's follow your bliss.
Yeah, beautiful. I'm gonna jot that down. Yeah, beautiful. All right. I think it has been a very powerful and very enlightening interview, and it has really taken a very unique path as compared to all the other interviews I've had. So I'm just saying, with every interview, my theme and I think my interview is evolving bigger and better. So thanks for, giving me this opportunity to, what can I say, steal some of your golden nuggets.
You're very welcome.
Yeah, thank you. And yeah, I think that's it.
Excellent. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Is there anything else you want to just say before I close the recording?
I don't think so.
Beautiful. All right. I think we must all follow our bliss.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much, Sarah. It's been such a pleasure having you. And, I will, of course, keep you posted when the interview is going live.
Thank you.